Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome along once again to Formula Virtual Racing. We are here this evening for the Dutch Grand Prix. That is right, as a return to Zandvoort on the lovely beaches of the Netherlands. We are here for what should be an absolutely fascinating Dutch Grand Prix. Usually quite good races here in Formula Virtual Racing. One of the most iconic ones, of course, was Legend Rosenberg winning his second world title on home soil. Joining alongside me this evening, of course, it is Brendan. How are you doing?
I am doing very well, thank you. Obviously, championship has been wrapped up at this point, so congratulations to Lewis on that one. However, we should still be in for some very good action. I believe the constructors may still be up for debate. Although I would say I think Red Bull do have a sizable enough lead at the moment, and considering the addition of Tyler Pastilli to their lineup in the last couple of rounds, it's probably looking very good for them at this point.
Yes, it probably is. Red Bull, very strong lineup with Tyler Pastilli and Lewis McWilliam at the wheels of their cars. But there's a couple of debut appearances here actually this evening. Looking at Andrew Davis, not to be confused with Luke Davies, like I did during the week. But Andrew Davis is in the Ferrari 4 this evening. These are all reserve debuts. Then we have Thomas Miele in the Aston Martin. I'm probably not pronouncing that correctly, but he is there. And I believe there is... Well, no, there's not one more. The other reserve racing this evening is Jake Scarborough, but of course you know the American all too well at this point. Lots of Dutch drivers here in the Dutch Grand Prix, but the only driver in the field is actually to win here before is not actually a Dutch driver. It is Juan Hernandez who won here in season number 6. He's the only current driver on the field to win here in Zandvoort, so there is a highly likely chance we will get a debut victory around this famous Dutch circuit. Juan Hernandez, of course, sporting a qualifying suspension for a collision on the opening lap of the Austrian Grand Prix last week. He will not be taking part in qualifying. He's allowed an outlap, and then he must come back into the pit lane. You're currently looking at Tyler Pastilli head through turn number 4 and turn number 5 and in towards turn number 6, all flat corners until you get to turn number 7 of the Schleivelak. Look, my Dutch isn't the best, but bear with me for this evening. And then in towards turn number 8 of Masters Bocht, and in towards turn number 9 of Bocht 9. And I think I could make a guess and say Bocht means corner, but if there's a Dutch representation in the stream chat, to let us know. But not a bad lap so far for Tyler Pastilli. Oh, he's backed off, I think. Or his red light is flashing, and certainly don't think he's backed off to 50.2 in the middle sector. They'll be looking to get about 1 minute 10s on the board this evening, as usually Tyler Pastilli is a driver who kind of comes to the top in the later parts of the session. But nevertheless, Lewis McWilliam, the current champion for this season, takes provisional pole with a 1:10.9. Here comes Pastilli across the lines, a 1:12.2, so he'll be looking to get back up there. Thomas Miele has gone to second position, and Andrew Davis not getting a representative time on the board. Next will be the Mercedes of Luke Davies, who doesn't have some great memories around this circuit. Of course, his season 6 title battle ended here around Zandvoort, and Legend Rosenberg, the famous Dutchman, did wrap it up. But Davies goes to the top, 1:10.7. Good run from the young man so far. Next will be the Haas Formula 1 car of Borbune, another Dutch driver. As we see one Dutch driver clatter the wall in the background. Think that was Liam Houseman, who dives into the pit lane. Liam Angelo Carrick is going next. That was Enzo King round at the banking. That's Carrick with a 10.9, just narrowly beats Lewis McWilliam. Sam Davis comes across the line in 4th, and I do apologise. Sam Davis is also won the Dutch Grand Prix here, so don't know what I was waffling on about, but Enzo King does get a lap on the board. It's 17th. Seconds off us. That's Andrew Davis into the wall. That's a broken front wing. Sam Crumpton takes provisional pole position here in Zandvoort. Very, very good driver is Sam Crumpton. Very strong around this Dutch Grand Prix circuit, and he manages to take the top.
Yeah, not bad for Crumpton there. And by the way, I have been working out the constructors' permutation. I believe we have a 66-point gap between Red Bull and Mercedes. If Red Bull were able to outscore Mercedes by about probably 22-23 points, they would wrap up the Constructors' Championship here today.
Okay.
I think Alfa Romeo, they could also, they are still technically in it, however, they would require a little bit, need to outscore Red Bull by about 10 today in order to stay in it.
Okay, so Alfa Romeo, of course, were one of the strongest lineups coming into this season, with Liam Houseman and Liam Carrick, as Vestigobadi goes to the top. That's a 1:10.3. That's an excellent run from the Ukrainian. That could be right up there even towards the end of the session. Of course, Vestigobadi was not able to keep the title alive in the Red Bull ring. It was quite unfortunate he was involved in a collision with Liam Angelo Carrick, but Vestigobadi not able to get a proper result in Austria, meaning he did lose the championship, but he'll be looking to recover here in the Netherlands. Aaron McFall's on the Hearts, so a man with not a great history around here. Aaron McFall, the most infamous Formula Virtual Racing moment, I suppose, or probably the most famous Formula Virtual Racing moment, involved this man, Aaron McFall, where he went upside down heading through turn number 2 of Gerlach Bocht, and Aaron's done a flip. If you haven't seen the clip, it's all over the YouTube channel. Please go watch it. It is what is Aaron doing? I know
Aaron's done a spin on the hards.
He's did that on purpose. You can see by the way he was turning in the wheel. Aaron's been at a rally all day, seemingly, and I think there's still some of that Craig Green is in his blood. So Aaron will probably end up in the wall at some point this evening. But nevertheless, the man who took pole in the Red Bull Rings having a good time, and I suppose that's what it's all about. I'm secretly fuming, but I suppose it's what it's all about.
Yeah, I suppose. Moving on here and see if there's people trying to properly complete laps. I suppose Tyler Bastilli is trying to do laps.
Tyler Bastilli, it's very interesting why he does this. He always just does laps on one set of tyre and then boxes for a next set of tyre and puts an absolute blister. And I suppose he's the right way of going about things. We've spoken about it before. This used to be the way old qualifying was, certainly in the 2005-2006 era, where the final part of qualifying, Q2 or Q3 or whatever it was calling, I can't really remember, but they used to have to put in their race fuel in the car and then had to complete the final part of qualifying with their race fuel. So it was very interesting. Tyler Bastilli, obviously it's a different way of qualifying now. It's usually your lap in the pits, lap in the pits, lap. But he goes about it a different way, and I suppose it's worked out for him because he's been on pole once. He was on pole in China, and he usually comes up towards the top in the end of the session.
Yeah, I suppose it gives him that chance to familiarise himself with the track more so than others during the qualifying session. And also means he can afford to build up his pace as the session goes on and find where there is grid and where there isn't. So then that makes that final run a lot easier because he's going into a known... on his task, he's already got all the tools there, whereas others are trying to find these two little pieces at a time, whereas he already knows where they're going to come from.
Well, we're looking at Liam Houseman, who's starting a qualifying lap, almost won his home Grand Prix here before in the Netherlands. He'll be looking to repeat the feat and go one better here this evening and take a victory. The man in the Alfa Romeo diving in towards turn number 3 and in towards turn number 4. Flat out corner, turn number 4, 5 and 6, and then when you get to 7 you do have to dab on the brakes. But on board with Houseman, 24.6 in the first sector, it's not too shabby at all. You're kind of in the 24, no, he's backed off, he's made a mistake. Not happy with the lap is Liam Houseman. There's an improvement there from Liam Carg? No, it's Andrew Davis actually, who's gone to second position. Next across the line will be the Alpha Tauri of Jake Scarborough. He's on the mediums, so he's going to stick in 14th position, but not bad running for him. Luke Davies next across the line. He is just starting a lap, I believe. And then next across the line will be one of the Williamses. It'll be Aaron McFall on the hard tyres, and the adventures of Aaron McFall carry on. Pastilli still carrying on as well as we go on board with Thomas Millet. He's well backed off, he's not on a flying lap. Sam Crunton, he is 0.2 of a second down. He's still pushing, I believe, to try and get more out of this lap, heading through turn... I was going to say turn number 5. It's certainly not turn number 5. It's a 5th gear corner, but it is turn number 13, and then turn number 14, the banked corner of Ari Lundijk Bocht. Crumpton running the low side, and it was 0.042 off his previous best, so not quite the lap Sam Crumpton would have wanted. Lewis McWilliams starting another run. Luke Davies 0.011 down is the Briton. Usually it is a British driver in a Mercedes that is looking to spoil the party here in Zandvoort. Davies will certainly be doing the same as... No, he's gone round. Very lucky to avoid the barrier. He can get another run if he has the fuel and has the battery, but mistake for Luke Davies. It's not what he would have wanted and has to dive out of the way. It's very tricky racing line there. It's only Aaron McFall in the hard anyway, so he's alright if he does block him, but not what Luke Davies would have wanted. Is Avesta Gobadi on a run, heading in towards turn number 3 of Hugenholz Bocht and in towards turn number 4 of Hunserug. Decent run for Gobadi. He's very good in this first sector is Avesta. That is where he really soars above the competition. 24.467 for Avesta Gobadi in the first sector. Was about 2/10 quicker than what we saw Liam Houseman attempt. Houseman is on a run. No, he's 10 seconds down, so Liam Houseman has backed off his next run. Enzo round, not for the first time this evening. Now, we've saw Enzo King round. Liam Houseman is not on a representative time. I'm not sure if he's going to go again or not, but we'll keep an eye on Avesta Gobadi. 48.906 in the middle sector, and there is improvements in this run for the Alpine. He's trying to edge out that gap on pole. Absolutely unbelievable driver is Avesta when he is at his best. The Ukrainian has certainly been at his best a few points this season, not always, but here comes Gobadi across the line. An improvement, absolutely. 110.247. Very unsure if we'll see that beaten here this evening. That is a great qualifying lap.
Yep, it is very much. Just seems to be clear of the rest today. He's probably been wondering if maybe if only that had been the case maybe more often. He's got a show here. Maybe that form might carry on. Might be third time lucky in season 9 then for Avesta Gobadi if he can just carry on that kind of form throughout the entire season.
And just while I've noticed it, we have to mention Sam Davis. He's up in 5th. This is an excellent qualifying performance from the Dutchman, who has tasted the Dutch champagne once before here in Zandvoort. He won in his title-winning season. He was the first man ever to win No, he wasn't, apologies. Danny Headcamper was the first man to win the Dutch Grand Prix. He was the second man to win the Dutch Grand Prix. He did run the Dutch Grand Prix in Season 1. Sam Crumpton struggling to find improvements in the middle sector. Is he able to improve? No, he isn't. He's into the pit lane, is Sam Crumpton, so he's not able to find time. There is currently only 4 cars on the circuit. Jake Scarborough has just come out for an outlap. Those are Aaron McFall, Tyler Bastilli and Avesta Gobadi, so there's no proper laps being put in. Enzo King now into the pit lane as well. As you can see, Tyler Pastilli, I imagine, will be diving into the pit lane fairly soon to put on his fresh set of boots. He's going to carry on for one more, get another practice lap in. But what you can always see is his laps are very consistent, these little test runs for Tyler Pastilli. They've all been in around the 112s, as that's McFall in the wall. At that corner where he's did it once before, he's gone into the wall as Aaron McFall. And you know what I've just realised, Brendan, and I don't think Aaron has. These are his race tyres.
He may have taken an extra set of 2 sets of soft, a medium and a hard. I don't think he's damaging his actual hard race tyres.
Okay, so he has gone for a different tyre allocation. It's a very Aaron McFall thing to do, though, to damage your race tyres. You can see why I think that, but Aaron McFall he's not damaging his race tyres. He is... I think if we try to figure out what he's doing, it would be more difficult than actually watching what he's doing. So we'll jump to Jake Scarborough, who's heading in towards Gerlach Bocht and Hugenholz Bocht, and heading around the smaller of 2 bankings here in Zandvoort. Of course, the banked corner, the final banked corner of Arie Lundijk Bocht, it was upgraded to an 18-degree banking. That's actually steeper than the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, so it is a fairly steep banking as we're looking at Scarborough head in towards the middle sector. A man who's very familiar with IndyCars and NASCARs, so maybe Jake Scarborough might be a little bit more at home with the banked corners of the Dutch seaside. But nevertheless, qualifying coming in towards the dying moments. 50 flat in the middle sector. It's not too shabby for Jake Scarborough. Of course, we saw Gobadi 58.9 in that sector, so that just shows the different level Gobadi is at. There's not many people in 58.9 territory in the field here this evening. Through the final corner of Arie Lundijk Bocht, here comes Jake Scarborough across the line, and that's going to put him into the top 10, just about. 10th position, Thomas Mealy behind. Is he completing a qualifying lap? No, he's just starting one, is the Aston Martin Cognizant car, heading in towards turn number 1 of Tarzan, and in towards the up and down middle sector of 2 and 3.
Yeah, just want to make a point here. Well, Aaron McFall didn't message to say, yeah, he took the harder allocation, but also I've some working out though. Technically, Ferrari and AlphaTauri are also still in this championship, but they would need to outscore Red Bull by a lot just to stay in it. So realistically, it's going to be if Red Bull can outscore Mercedes today by about 20 or so points, Which, if they do, we'd have to presume they'd win the championship.
Yeah, I think Red Bull are in a very good position, and I think it would take an absolute masterstroke from Alfa Romeo, and I don't think they have it in them, if I'm honest. It is an all-dry race, by the way. We will have some Dutch sunshine throughout the Dutch Grand Prix weekend. We're looking at Thomas Miele, as we have been for all of his qualifying lap, actually. We've not really spoken about him, but here comes the debutant heading towards the start-finish line. He's going to be Jake Scarber's lap. He absolutely is. He's going to go up to 7th position, so it's a 1:11.2 for Thomas Miele, and you can see Enzo King, his teammate, just coming out of the pits now. The Aston Martin side by side for a brief moment. Next across the line to start his lap, it's the world champion himself. It's Lewis McWilliam, the man who wrapped up his second Formula Virtual Racing World Drivers' Championship in Austria. At Red Bull's home, it was an excellent occasion for Lewis McWilliam, as Luke Davies has improved to 2nd position. Great run by the Briton on what is his final lap of the evening. So Luke on the front row. Can Lewis take that position off him? Heading through 4 and 5 and in towards 6 of Stottmarker Bocht, and in towards turn number 7, the downhill right-hander. Much slower than Avesta Gobadi through there, but still a lot quicker than the majority of the field. This is where the middle sector, I believe, McWilliam will be quickest. He's usually quite good around these slower, sweeping corners. Can get the power down very well, can get the power down arguably quicker than Avesta Gobadi can. Sometimes you see Avesta make the odd mistake. 49 flat in the middle, not really touching Avesta Gobadi now, but in the dying embers of qualifying, the Scotsman usually comes out and usually tries to provide us with a little bit of a shock. Heading through the final corner and in towards Arie Lundijk Bocht, the final corner on this fine Dutch Grand Prix circuit. Here comes McWilliam across the line. Is it pole position for the Scotsman? It's only good enough for the front row. It's not even touching that of Avesta Gobadi. Here comes Pistilli across the line. Can he shoot up to the top of the grid? No, there was no improvement there. He might actually be just starting his final qualifying lap. What about Sam Crumpton? Does he have something in the tank? No, he's just starting a run as well. Thomas Main is starting. He was on his qualifying lap, as there is a yellow flag in the middle sector. That is one of the Alfa Romeo Saubers that is going slowly, I believe. If they're not currently on runs, they won't get on another, as the checkered flag now drops here in Zandvoort. There is a Ferrari, that is Andrew Davis, who's just about got across to start his lap. Liam Houseman, no further part in qualifying, and neither for Liam Angelo Carrick. There's no big improvements for them. They've both made mistakes on their final laps. Thomas Main, in his neighbouring country, the Belgian, heading across the start-finish line. Going to be only 9th for Thomas Main. Not what he would have wanted. Sam Davison, Borbune. Borbune goes to 8th. Davison pulls along the right-hand side wall. Where's he going to shoot? It's got to be 3rd position at home. Excellent qualifying for him. Here's Adrian Taisha. Only good enough for 15th. The Red Bulls. Now McWilliam towing Pistilli round. Tyler Pistilli tucks into the slipstream of his teammate. Can he snatch pole right at the death? It's only going to be 2nd for Pistilli. He knocks off McWilliam, but it is good enough for 2nd. What about Sam Crumpton? Can he beat Gobadi across the line? No, he cannot. It's the front row of the grid. It's one spot too shy. Andrew Davis is the last to cross the line, but he's down on his lap, and he will stay down on his lap. Avesta Gobadi then takes pole position for the Dutch Grand Prix.
Yep, that is.
That slipstream has really helped Tyler Pistilli. Red Bull lock out the 2nd row, but it's not quite good enough. It's Avesta Gobadi who takes pole with a 1:10.247. Sam Crumpton in 2nd, 1:10.329, followed by Tyler Pistilli in 3rd. Lewis McWilliam in 4th. Sam Davis in 5th position, followed by Luke Davies in 6th. Aaron McFall in 7th. Liam Angelo Carrick in 8th. Borbune 9th. Liam Houseman in 10th. Enzo King will start 11th, followed by Thomas Main in 12th. Thomas Miele will start 13th, followed by Andrew Davis in 14th. It's then Jake Scarber, Adrian Taisha, and Juan Hernandez who round out the field, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be back in a few moments. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Dutch seaside. We are here at Zandvoort, and you can see on your screen 14 turns here in this 4.259 kilometer circuit, 2.656 miles and 14 corners, 4 to the left and 10 to the right. Lap record belongs to the most hated man in these parts of the world, Lewis Hamilton, with a 1:11.097. And Vestigo Badi will have 215 metres to defend his race lead from pole to turn number 1. Formula 1 first race here in 1952 with Alberto Ascari, who led a Ferrari 1-2-3 home, and Formula 1 would race here until 1985, ladies and gentlemen. We go back to the on-track action now, but there was a few people who managed to disconnect, so we do hope everybody can get back in okay. I think it was Aaron McFall, Thomas, and actually, 1 second, folks. We're just going to pop to the thumbnail screen while we get these guys invited. It should only take a second. It was Thomas Main, Jake Scarborough, and I believe it was Aaron McFall as well. So we're going to get these guys in, folks. We're still on the formation lap, as I have all been given invites, and we head back to Zandvoort, folks. Aaron has got back in. Hopefully Thomas and Jake can get back in as well. We do not want them to lose out on any running time. But Brendan, who wins the Dutch Grand Prix?
Well, for most of these drivers now, they're pretty much free to race. So you would, left from Lewis William, who doesn't have a championship to worry about now. He's already won it. Well, I would say Vesta is probably in a nice position to win, although an early safety car could put the likes of Aaron McFall, Orbu, Liam Houseman, Enzo, Thomas. They could all end up in a decent enough position if a safety car comes around lap 10, lap 11 onwards. Although, to be fair, you could go from hards to mediums and make it work, just.
Yeah, Brendan had some good experience tyre saving in last night's Formula Virtual Racing Academy race. There's 2 cars round on the formation lap. There's 3 cars round on the formation lap. That's a bit odd, but Adrian,
why is Hernandez on the softs?
Round as Juan Hernandez has gone on the softs, and yeah, it is hard for the top 6, hard for Liam Carrick, and hard for Adrian Teicher. Everyone else is on mediums. Juan Hernandez is on the soft compound tyres, and Juan Hernandez and Adrian Teicher line up in their grid slot. And we are about to get going here for the Dutch Grand Prix. 3, 4, 5, red lights. And we go racing here in the Netherlands. Really good start from the Red Bull of Lewis McWilliams. There's a bit of a push and a shove from Tyler Pistilli into towards turn number 1. Liam Carrick is on the grass there on the outside, heading through turn number 1 of Farzan. Crumpton gets alongside of Vestigo Badi, but it's a bit pushy and shovey in towards turn number 2. Pistilli almost gone round. Sam Davis has taken the long route, and he's picked up positions. And thankful for it, but round. The 2 Hasses collide with Tyler Pistilli, and both Hasses have been sent spinning here in the Dutch Grand Prix, as well as the Canadian of Tyler Pistilli. Juan Hernandez already up to 7th on the softs, absolutely flying on this race start. This has been a great race start for him. It's been a horror for his teammate Andrew Davis, who's not managed to gain any positions. Juan Hernandez dives up the inside of Enzo King, but King spins under his own accord. Not too sure if Hernandez was involved in that. Adrian Teicher looking to try and get up the inside of Hernandez as well. Here comes Borbune trying to battle back. What's the issue?
You see 3 disqualifications there. They're asking for a restart.
Okay, that's 3 disqualifications for the people who have rejoined. We will go for a restart, I believe, there, folks. So, do count this all out. We will go for a restart. And
so soon will be qualifying grid with us.
Yeah, it'll be the qualifying grid, and we will go for a restart. So, ladies and gentlemen, just we do apologise for that. Just give us a moment. We'll be back in a couple of seconds.
There it is. Yep.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the stream. Unfortunately, we don't have any on-track action when we should. We do have to go for a restart. I do hope you can keep with us here, folks, as we will just have the thumbnail on screen for a few moments. It will be the qualifying grid that will see us off here in the Netherlands. Of course, Avesta Gobadi was the one who did manage to take pole position. Now, the real question here is, Brendan, will we see Juan Hernandez go for those soft tyres again? Because, of course, it is technically free tyre choice once again. Will he have seen that as a little bit of a confidence booster, and will he go for the softs again?
Yeah, it's not one, but he probably did benefit slightly from the disconnect. So you would have to consider that into account.
He did. Hopefully, we have as exciting of a race that it was. A very action-packed start. That unfortunately we did have a restart because the three people disconnected. They were disqualified instantly, which is quite unfair because there was three of them that were gone. Usually if it's one, then unfortunately there is a sole person to blame, but because it was multiple, it was obviously a lobby issue, and there was something along those lines that saw the brief hiatus here in on-track action in Zandvoort. But make sure you do stick with us, ladies and gentlemen, and make sure you like and subscribe to the stream if you're enjoying the action. We're going to try get going ASAP. We will keep you updated, of course, with all the on-track action. No, I won't make you watch the intro video again. Don't worry about that. But we do have to get the grid set, ladies and gentlemen, so you might just have the thumbnail on the screen for a few moments. Now, hopefully these drivers can all work together, which is something that never happens here in Formula Virtual Racing. Hopefully they can work together and we get everybody in fairly quickly. It's not something we usually see, but hopefully they can get everyone in.
See the lobbies up.
And Brendan, do you want to change your prediction, or are you going to stick with what you gave us?
Let me see here. Honestly, I'm not sure what you could really have got from that start, so I would say best still in the best position to win. Although I will say this, we do have to take into account the factor of why if somebody forgets their setup here.
Yeah, somebody probably will. That's usually something that happens. People do forget their setups.
See, Juan himself is a bit annoyed. He was up about 10 positions.
Yeah, Juan had a great start. Of course, as you said, he did benefit a little bit from those from the disqualified cars, but he was up 10 positions. You know, Brendan, I think the fact that we do have some free tyre choice now, we might see a few more go for the softs.
Yeah, Juan's probably showing everyone the benefit. Like Aaron McFall apparently doesn't have a setup now, despite being able to have a setup for the original
Aaron McFall moment. Aaron McFall moment. Need I say more?
Aaron McFall.
Aaron brings us some interesting moments in Formula Virtual Racing. We thank him for it. But
well, yeah, they are good and bad. We've had Aaron McFlip, we've had Aaron McTireside, we've had Aaron McStuff before the line, and Aaron McForget set up despite having it for a previous session.
Yeah, like, why didn't he just save it? That would have been so much easier. Why didn't he just save it in case there was a restart? We're only waiting on, I believe, why did someone just leave? Nevertheless, I believe we are just waiting on Tyler Pistilli and Avesta Gobadi. Aaron is telling everyone that he's going for the softs, so there is nothing being hidden in the Aaron McFall camp. We are just waiting on actually our pole sitter to join, and I believe, who else are we waiting on to join? It seems like it is Juan, actually, who's not joined.
I think one is angry with this, to be fair. He considers he was on the other. He didn't turn his favour with the Italy, his own disqualification for the same issue in Italy.
Well, if he's angry, I quite frankly don't care. If he could join the lobby, that would be absolutely lovely. So he could get some racing action here. And to be fair for Juan, as I did say before, it was only one person in Italy. It was his own fault that he disconnected technically. Same for Liam Houseman. He's been screwed over a couple of times because of that, but we did have multiple. So it was clearly a lobby issue, and that is what unfortunately happened there. So we're just waiting on Juan and Avesta to join the lobby, and then we can set the grid and we can get going. And we're also waiting for Tyler Pistilli to select a car. Issues breed issues. Just like safety cars breed safety cars, issues always breed issues here. So that is, we always will get it. Oh, I can't join, unfortunately. And that is unfortunately the case there. But ladies and gentlemen, we will be going racing soon. Brendan, do you have anything to say? Keep people entertained?
I'll just say, just watch out. You don't know what could happen here. Netherlands FVR. We've had the PMP Mac disconnect, part one of a series of about 40. We had Benjamin Bulwark disconnect, which was actually a rarity. And also had Aaron McFlip. Then season 4 for Netherlands. Well, that was just classic legend win. Then season 6, we had Thomas Main trying his damnedest to keep a race win on pretty much prehistoric tires. So yeah, Netherlands, it usually brings something here in FPR. Although in this case, there's nothing really on the line like there was in the other races.
Yes, as thanks to Khalil for popping in the chat. Avesta took his 4th pole of the season. This is the most poles this season. Oh, Avesta's here. Lovely. He's joined right on cue. Thank you very much, Avesta, for that one. We can run you through the grid now once again for today's race, folks. It is Avesta Gobardi on pole position, followed by Sam Crumpton in 2nd. It was then Tyler Pistilli who took 3rd, followed by Lewis McWilliam in 4th. If you're just wondering what the hold up now is, we just have to set the grid for the race. We wouldn't want a random grid. Some people might, if your name is maybe Liam Houseman, he might like to start on pole for his home Grand Prix. Sam Davis then qualified behind Lewis McWilliam and ahead of Luke Davies. Excellent final run that was from Sam Davis, and somehow the man, the myth, the legend, Aaron McFall qualified in 7th behind Luke Davies. Behind Luke Davies then it was Liam Angelo Carrick who qualified behind the other Irishman. It was then Borbune who was behind Liam Angelo Carrick. It was then Liam Houseman, as Brendan, please tell them to stop readying up. These guys are a bunch of muppets. Please tell them to stop readying up. As Liam Houseman goes behind Borbune. It was then Enzo King who qualified behind Liam Houseman. We haven't really talked about Enzo much this race weekend. Behind Enzo King, it was Thomas Main. It was then Thomas Mealy who qualified behind Thomas Main. 1 Thomas and 2 Thomases. It was then Andrew Davis who qualified next ahead of Jake Scarborough. Then it was Adrian Taisha and Juan Hernandez. Ladies and gentlemen, these guys can now ready up. We'll be getting back to on-track action very, very shortly here in Formula Virtual Racing. As good to see the AlphaTauri team boss Bill Noack in the chat. He's chanting Sam, 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 Super Sam. So we will be getting going very shortly, folks. I know I said I wasn't going to make you watch it, but let's build the hype again. We'll be back in a couple of moments. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Zandvoort. Once again, we will take a look at the track map. Of course, 14 corners, 4.259 kilometres and 2.656 miles. 4 to the left, 10 to the right in terms of the corners, and as said before, a lap record by a man who's not too popular in these parts, Lewis Hamilton. 215 metres is one of Estegobani would have to defend heading in towards turn number 1. That is from the number 1 grid slot. You're going to be so thankful to see this, folks. We're back on the circuit. You can see the pit garages here in the Netherlands. And we are getting ready to go for the start of round number 10 of the Formula Virtual Racing Season 8 Championship.
Oh, who readied up? Oh no, somebody's going to forget to set up.
Well, that's unfortunate for them, but we will have the formation lap as per usual, and we will get going. Of course, as I said in qualify, the bank corner of Harry Lundijk box is 18 degrees banking, steeper than Indianapolis. The most successful driver around here, some will say it's Max Verstappen. It's absolutely not. It's Jim Clark with 4 race victories. In terms of Formula Virtual Racing, don't think we've ever had a repeat winner around here. I will happily be proved wrong, but I don't think we've had a repeat winner here. We've had Sam Davis, Danny Hitkamp, Juan Hernandez and Legend Rosenberg all take victories. That's not in the right order, but they all have taken victories. There's been 6 different track changes over the years here in Zandvoort. It's been about a $4 million investment to get it up to FIA Grade 1 standard, with 100k crowd capacity. There is the ready up timer, ladies and gentlemen. Just popped up the top of your screen. We'll be getting ready to go for the second formation lap, as Liam Houseman seemingly has been called the Nick Heidfeld of league racing by Bill Nowick. So I quite liked Nick Heidfeld, I won't lie. When I was a kid, I used to always like Nick Heidfeld for some reason. Couldn't tell you why, but we all like Nick. Racing cars are driving once again, folks. We do apologise for the delay, but the formation lap is underway, and there has actually been a change in the tyres. Of course, they're allowed change tyres. You were allowed to change tyres because it is technically, I suppose it's technically a red flag, isn't it, Brendan? You're allowed to change your tyres on a red flag, but Aaron McFall has gone for the softs. And so has Juan Hernandez. It is hards for everybody else down to Liam Carrick, and then it's mediums for everybody else down from Borbune.
Well, yeah, and if an early safety car comes, these soft runners are in a great position. And it's, I suppose, same could be said for medium runners, with maybe slightly later. But I'd say for the hard runners, they're going to want to hope this race does go on a bit longer, because even if you can manage your mediums, it is still going to be a difficult task.
Yes, it's definitely a difficult task. Overtaking is not really promoted around this Dutch Grand Prix circuit. It's kind of strategy that gets you results. You can see there on the bottom, lap 16 to 21 is the pit window for all those starting on the medium compound of tyres. Be 36 laps of racing to look forward to. Let us know down below who your predictions, who you are cheering for, and who you'd like to see win this Formula Virtual Racing Dutch Grand Prix. That's a Red Bull in the wall. Is that Pistilli? There's cars having spins everywhere. And that is also Sam Crumpton having a spin. Not allowed to spin on purpose, of course, so if it was not a natural spin, then they can technically be reported to the Formula Virtual Racing race stewards. But Juan Hernandez will be the one who lines us up on the grid for this Dutch Grand Prix. One-time winner of the Dutch Grand Prix. Will that masterclass that friend of the league Kyle Albert has been talking about since round number 1? We haven't seen a Juan Hernandez masterclass this season yet. Today could well and truly be the day. He lines up on his grid slot to get us ready to go. Once again, here in Zandvoort, we're all good this time. All cars on the grid. We've had no disconnects. I say that, and Juan Hernandez is now driving through the field. No, there we go. 2, 4, 5. Red lights. And we go racing once again in the Netherlands. Really good start from Sam Crumpton. Go bad. He has to defend into turn number 1. The 2 Red Bulls get away equally as well as the first time. Pistilli round the outside of Crumpton. Excellent race start from the Alpha Terry, but he's in the wall. Oh no, he's got a great start. There's chaos in the mid-pack. Absolutely cars everywhere. There's some huge collisions. There is cars everywhere. Borbune round, Pistilli round. Hernandez has been disqualified from the race. And Crumpton, no, we won't have to restart because that was under Juan's own doing. Why he drove off on the formation lap is beyond me. He didn't park up in his grid slot. Silly stuff. Sam Crumpton getting all over the back. That's a great start from Aaron McFall. He's up 3 positions into 4th. Lewis McWilliam down 1, not getting the start of the hard tires he would have wanted. Thomas versus Thomas. Melee versus Main. Thomas Main comes out on top. He's up 4 spots to 8th position. Liam Houseman trying to hang it around the outside of Thomas Melee. Just shut off. The door was closed. He's going to have to tuck into the slipstream heading in towards turn number 11 of Hans Ernst Bocht and see what he can do. How Liam would love a win here in Zandvoort.
Yeah, a very messy start. I've seen Hernandez. Apparently he joined back, so has he had a disconnection issue actually? Well, what's the story with it?
I won't know. Let's focus on the racing. Sam Crumpton up alongside Sam Davis, who's somehow 3rd in this Grand Prix. It was a very hectic lap. Waters Borbune is disconnected from the race, but Sam Crumpton keeps 2nd position ahead of the Dutchman of Sam Davis. Aaron McFall is looking for 3rd here as Tyler Pistilli does speed. We have a lot of pitters here in the opening lap. Melee has gone for the softs. Liam Houseman gone for the hards. Everyone else has gone for the hards. Look at Aaron McFall trying it around the outside of Sam Davis. Oh, that's a beautiful move from Aaron McFall. He's definitely got a tyre advantage, but still a lot of bravery needed to hang it around the outside of turn number 5 and turn number 6. McFall is up onto the podium. He's certainly on the better choice of tyres, and strategy will be completely different to Gobadi and Crumpton, but the Williams nevertheless providing some beautiful racing on the opening few laps, and Borbune is unfortunately disconnected here. Hopefully we can get him back in.
Yeah, hopefully he does get back in here, Borbune. It's been unfortunate for him if he just ended up messing with race, although there's a good bit of a gap from him to Sanders. I see that kind of first snappy incident there really cost a lot of drivers. So it's almost the Aston name.
Here comes Aaron McFall, 2nd position for the Irishman. He's up the inside of Sam Crumpton. Excellent move from the Williams racingman. Luke Davies and Lewis McWilliam side by side. Neither gonna give an inch. McWilliam takes the position. Luke Davies gonna have to sit behind for now. Those who did pit on the opening lap was Thomas Main, Thomas Mealy, Liam Houseman, Jake Scarborough and Tyler Pistilli. Just to clarify, we're on lap 3 here, and look at Davies. He's running a lot more straight line speed than Lewis McWilliam is. Not able to make his way past as Borbune has got back with us. Sam Crumpton's all over the back of Aaron McFall, it seems, so it looks like Aaron's tyres maybe have already fallen off. Oh no, it's the Aaron McFall train again. Oh, not this shenanigans as Sam Crumpton tries to run it around the long way. He's now side by side with Sam Davis. This is Aaron's idea of fun, by the way. He gets in front of everyone and just backs them all up. I mean, fair enough, but this is what Aaron McFall does best. He's going to let his friend Domestic Obadi run away. And, yeah. I can imagine if he does this for much longer, Crumpton might just send him into the gravel at Tarzan Bocht here at turn number 1, but we will wait and see how this one goes. Right into the slipstream. That is Andrew Davis round. McFall going to defend to the inside, and he's going to try and hold back Sam Crumpton on the soft compound tyres. Sam Crumpton running it the long way around the outside, still puts the power in. McFall gives him the squeeze. The AlphaTauri still up and alongside and in Aaron's face, and side by side it's a turn number 3. Push to pass, says Sam Crumpton, and up to who gets the better exit. Aaron McFall will get the better exit on the soft compound tyres. Infuriating here for Sam Crumpton, this truly is, because he can see a Vestago badly run away into the sunset just like in Silverstone. He needs to try and get away from Aaron McFall. He needs to try and get in front. Sam Davis will be loving this because this gives Sam Davis a chance at a podium at home.
And yeah, any contact here and he's on the podium. All he has to do is just be, now if you have a mistake like that, he's going to be pressure.
Here comes Sam Crumpton looking it up the inside. He's not taking any prisoners here. Block past McFall, runs him out of the road. McFall goes round. Karma probably for Aaron McFall, but I think he was entitled to a little bit more space. Aaron gets set back and the Aaron McFall train goes flailing to the back of the field. Now it's the Sam Davis train because he has Lewis McWilliam and Luke Davies right behind. Davies, the closer of the two. Here comes the Mercedes right into the slipstream on the hat of Sam Davis up the inside. Late braking. Oh, Sam sandwiched. He's got Lewis on his inside now as well. Somehow these guys all escape damage. Lewis McWilliam still trying to hang around the outside of Luke Davies. Oh, what a move from Lewis McWilliam. Some great racing here in the early stages of the Dutch Grand Prix. They said you couldn't drive around this track. These guys are putting on a show.
Oh, yeah, very much so. They are putting on a very good show for us. And what looks like the more this happens, the more drivers that could get dragged into this. Although, apparently, I think after Aaron and Enzo, you're going to have a bit of a gap there. So then Fort Bune is back in. So good for him anyway.
Oh, Luke Davies round. Luke Davies has spun his Mercedes heading through turn number 9, a box 9. And that is an unfortunate spin at Aaron's round as well. So Luke will get a spot back. That is Aaron round once again. I think his softs have started to falling off, which I'm surprised because he was driving slow enough to not get much wear. But Aaron does it has spun again. He's down into 8th position. Lewis McWilliam now has a free attack at Sam Davis. He's Liam Angelo Carrick right behind him. But bit of a gap to the Alfa Romeo Sauber. The Scotsman can certainly afford some racing with Sam Davison before he is under threat of losing a position. Down the back of the field, Thomas Main and Adrian Teiche are looking to have a bit of a scrap here as, oh, you can see Liam Houseman's taking a tip round. We got a good view of that one, and the home hero has taken a little bit of a spin. It has unfortunately been a downhill spiral for Liam Houseman since his race win in Singapore. There goes Thomas Main past Adrian Teiche. The Canadian, as he's called now, is going to try and attack the Belgian. Not close enough into turn 1, it seems. He's going to have to sit behind for now. It's a very spaced out field here in the Netherlands. There's little gaggles of cars everywhere.
Yeah, you see the grid is a bit spread out now, but it is leaving us with pretty much groups of the two, which is actually that's Houseman around there.
Yeah, I don't think there's going to be a home victory here today. Sam Davis, the one-time Dutch Grand Prix winner, is actually in the best shout of it, and no one coming into this race would have really expected it. But Sam's always ran well here around Zandvoort, as that is Adrian Teiche, who has gone off once again, and that's unfortunate for Adrian.
Oh yeah, unfortunate for him. The mistakes seem to be common enough here in the first this part of this race. As Adrian's just struggling there, the grappling these tires isn't helping. Foxy's wants to push past him here. So as he comes around outside, he's onto soft tires.
There's Thomas Mealy trying it. Oh, that was close. Good defending from Adrian, mind you. And he's going to have to try and just hold on because Mealy in his Aston Martin is certainly the quicker of the two. Is almost spinning it round, actually heading through. I'm not going to say that corner name because I'm now giggling at it as here comes Thomas Mealy on the back of Adrian Teiche, the Aston Martin, trying to head in to the 14. Yeah, that was inevitable. Adrian, just reverse out of there, my friend, because you will get disqualified for blocking the pit lane. He has, Adrian, well aware of the rules here. You do get disqualified for blocking the pit lane. As Ernesto Badi almost lapping his former teammate.
Yeah, that is not really a great race for Adrian. It has contrasted with his strong enough season. So, just hope maybe in the next two races we'll go a little bit better at Portimao and Brazil.
As seemingly Juan Hernandez has actually left the league after the opening lap. So, that makes Stuart's life a bit easier.
Oh yeah, I think he did get kicked from the lobby, so that's why his car did go past everyone else.
I'm not surprised, but nevertheless, here comes Liam Carrick on the back of Lewis McWilliam. These two have had a scrap in the past, and usually very respectful and fair fight between these two. That's if Liam doesn't spin it before he gets there. That was almost a bit of a slide heading through turn number 8. You don't want to take too much slips of the slide around the Zandvoort circuit. It is not a forgiving track. Any little mistake usually punished, as Adrian Teiche is into the pits. I imagine he might have picked up some damage from that spin heading through turn number 9 just a couple of laps ago. Carrick running the better than Lewis McWilliam here a little bit. And definitely Lewis has probably taken his foot off the pedal in terms of practice and other stuff. Now he's wrapped up the championship. It's very, very understandable. It's been an unbelievable season from the Scotsman, and he can just have fun now for the rest of it. He can just enjoy Formula Virtual Racing. That is unfortunately the home hero, Sam Davis, who has spun round. This promotes everybody up to Luke Davies' a position, and Sam unfortunately is in 7th. He was having a hero's drive in 3rd position. Unfortunately, he sent himself spinning, heading through turn number 2.
If I'm not mistaken here, I've just spotted it. McWilliam, his throttle's now at full.
Is it not at full?
It's not.
We'll get the telemetry up here. Let's take a look. You can see little green bar under the kilometre. Best look on the... No, his throttle is not going full. So there is some pedal issues for Lewis McWilliam. He's probably not spotted it himself. That's very good awareness once again from you, Brendan. But yeah, you can see in his telemetry, Lewis McWilliam's throttle is not fully activating. That's why he might be losing some time on the straights to Liam Angelo Carrick.
Yeah, that is strange. It may explain his pace difference, really. Because, if he had that full throttle, it would make a difference. It's actually that Scarborough.
Yeah, that's Scarborough who's gone round in the background. Enzo King has caught up to Liam Carrick here as well. So Enzo running a good race. Enzo, of course, finished on the podium at home in Austria last week after the stewards. Well, Aaron's still going on these softs, by the way. Aaron's not pulled into the pit lane. He's just lost the spot to Borbune, but Aaron's still going.
Yeah, still going, but I'd say he'll be peeling into the pit soon enough. Because them softs surely won't be lasting that long.
That's Andrew Davis, who's gone round in the middle sector. Pistilli and Thomas Main side by side. Oh, full course safety car has been deployed.
Oh. Well, that's saved certain people's races here.
Michael Massey, eat your heart out. Not too sure why that's been deployed, but certainly it's allowed Thomas Mealy to get in the pits, and it'll allow Aaron McFall to get in the pits, and potentially the medium compounder runners. Wonder will we see an interesting strategy from those on the hards. Maybe a double medium to the end could be a potential strategy here, but let's wait and see.
Yeah, a double medium would work in a way, but obviously sample pit lane is short, so you have a chance to catch.
It's also a lower kilometre an hour than some of the pit lanes, seemingly. So.
Oh, you mean 60 instead of 80?
Yes, it is 60 instead of 80 in terms of the speed limit, so you do got to be careful for braking, as, yep, top 5 all in. Understand why Enzo King's in. He's going to go for hards to the end of the race, but most of them are in. Sam Davis does not. Sam fancies leading his home Grand Prix once again. He's not going to do it because Avesta is on pit exit, and is that actually a lap car in front? It's actually the lapped car of Liam Houseman. He's not quite lapped because, of course, he is in front of Avesta. So Liam Houseman then actually is going to have to cover quite a lot in this race. I believe Adrian Taisha is the lap down as well. Unfortunately, he has just come out. Oh, Adrian's a good bit down. He is just come out in front of Luke Davies, I believe he has. So Adrian will hopefully be allowed to unlap himself. That, of course, means the drivers must go off the circuit completely, all 4 tyres over the white line, allow the other car through, and then the lap car can unlap himself. Good to see Sam Crompton practicing the manoeuvre as he ran off the circuit heading through turn number 8.
Yeah, just obviously that's how you do net through the lap car. You pull over off the track. That means the car can pass without being penalised by the game. And then once that's done, once you get up past the lead car, the safety car should be able to let them go on then and file back round. Result, you've got your lap back, and you'll get that chance to go for proper positions again.
Well, safety car certainly won't be in this lap. We still have a lot of people who still have to recover. We're on lap 11 out of 36 here in the Dutch Grand Prix. It's still Avesta Gobadi who leads, and a very split strategy at this point in the race. We imagine it'll be a double medium to the end, or potentially the single medium. I know the safety car came out at a similar time in yesterday's Formula Virtual Racing Academy race, and Brendan, you managed to bring a set of the Pirelli medium compounded tyres to the end from about lap 15, I want to say. But
Yeah,
it's certainly
safety car lap.
it's a difficult thing to do, so we might see these guys potentially go for a double medium.
Yeah, I would say this does put a bit of stress. If you are a real good tyre saver, you may be able to manage it. But even then, you actually, with the way level of the pit lane works, you might be risking being caught later on. So you have to hope maybe that gap does open up behind you, so that either you can pit into it, or the people who do pit and then you take track position will have a lot to catch up, or so on and so forth. Or maybe you have to hope there's traffic there behind you that would help.
Yeah, and at a circuit like Zandvoort here, it is pretty nasty on your tyres. There is a lot of demand in these corners, the long sweeping ones, but it's not as stoppy-starty as others, so it's not the worst in the world for tyre wear. And as you said previous, Brendan, the pit lane is very short. You do not lose as much time as say your Silverstones of this world, but nevertheless, the town of Zandvoort nearby, where some of these drivers might go for a bit of lunch after. Population of just 17,000, so small area with a lot of history. The safety car is in this lap. Avestico Bardi will be heating up his tyres. Everybody is in the train. Adrian Teicher unfortunately has not got to unlap himself. Liam Houseman has caught the queue, however. Safety car is in. Gobardi can go from any point now. When will he time it? He's going to have Sam Davis and old rubber behind him, but arguably better heated. And now we go racing once again in the Netherlands. Really good restart from Avestico Bardi. Sam Crumpton up alongside the Hastas. Already yellow flags out, but doesn't look like there's a collision. McWilliam already up alongside Sam Davis as well, the Scotsman. Oh, huge wobble from Luke Davies in the background. Somehow keeps it on the circuit. Looked like he was a goner there, actually, as they all come piling into the downhill left-hander at turn number 3. Aaron McFall going for a dive on someone. Looks like Luke Davies is going to try attack Enzo King, who might not just have his hard tyres up to temperature yet. Liam Carrick, opportunistic as ever, right behind Luke Davies, looking to try and take that position. The Mercedes ducking and diving all around the back of Enzo King's wing mirrors. He just wants to try and get up and try and get past. Battle for the lead, however. Sam Crumpton now able to attack Avestico Bardi. The Brit versus the Ukrainian. Sam Crumpton's going to try and take the race lead. He fell off the race lead due to Aaron McFall, or the McFall train as it's now been dubbed. We've had the Aaron McFlip and the Aaron McTrain here in Zandvoort across many seasons in Formula Virtual Racing. So Aaron is the gift that keeps on giving. Luke Davies in the slipstream of Enzo King. The other Aston Martin of Thomas Mealy has spun at the back. He's now adrift to the field. Davies looking for the outside. He's been given the outside by Enzo King. Can he just hang it the long way around the outside, get the power down? He has got the power down. Is Luke Davies able to keep it alongside, heading through Hugenholtz box? Oh, Enzo King round and into the wall. The Aston Martin into the wall. Is there damage for King? Surely there is. Yep, his front wing has been completely smashed off. Not sure if it was Davies' fault. That will be for the stewards to review. Pistilli and Carrick side by side. Liam Carrick looking for the position on Tyler Pistilli. The gap is closing, and he just backs out at the right time. Liam Carrick, he could have been a goner heading through there if he had not have backed out. Clever racing by the two. Pistilli 9th, Carrick 10th, Davies up to 5th, and I have to say Haas having a great performance, 4th and 6th as of now.
Yep, I'll just make a point there. I think Enzo, he was tapped by Carrick, who probably just arrived in a little too quickly, and that's what sent Enzo into the wall there. It didn't take much, but it was enough for him to be sent, well, straight into a wall now. What was looking like a fairly promising race there, really, is now probably going to be a
here
race
comes Liam Carrick. Carrick is attacking the Canadian of Tyler Pistilli in towards turn number 1 of Tarzan Bocht. The Alfa Romeo Sauber dives up the inside of the Red Bull, and there's not really space given. Little bit of a tap, just a friendly love tap between the two. By the looks of things, there was nothing really caused of it, and Borbjorn was right on the back of Thomas Main here as well. Thomas Main struggling a lot in this track. There's, of course, didn't get a proper qualifying, and it's just look at the background. Look at Pistilli all over the back of Aaron McFall. I thought he was going to go past him there almost. This little battle for P number 8 is absolutely delivering as Carrick almost up alongside Pistilli, heading in towards turn number 8. He was up alongside Pistilli in towards turn number 8, but was not able to make a move. Liam Houseman and Jake Scarborough. Houseman past Scarborough. Houseman on his remontada, I suppose you could say. He's looking to try and get a good result here in his home Grand Prix.
Well, yeah, looks like the Liams, well, pretty much one in points, one is not. They're going to both. But first, they're going to have to make some moves on the hard runners here, Bob Yoon, Aaron, and Tyler Pistilli, because, well, if you can't make a move here...
There's Davies and Davis it.
Yeah.
Luke Davies up the inside of Sam Davis it. That is a fairly easy one, but it looks like things. No, Davis it keeps the car in, mind you, so Luke's going to have to scrap for it. No, he's ahead. He's got the exit. So Luke Davies, not bad going there. Pistilli still trying to make a move on Aaron McFall. He is certainly the quicker of the two at this point, but Aaron likes to defend his position, and he's doing a good job of it here on this stint. He is doing a decent job of staying in 8th position, not falling away from Borbune either. And I have to say, the Harheads looking a good tyre choice at this point.
Mains touched the curb there. It was a little bit sketchy. Is that someone round?
Someone round. That's Aaron McFall actually round. So the man we were looking at, Aaron McFall, has fallen right behind, or ahead I should say, of Andrew Davis. So Aaron McFall making a mistake. That's one hard runner out of the way for I was going to say for Tyler Pistilli. He's a hard runner himself, but for the two Alfa Romeo Saubers, Carrick needs to start making moves because he's affecting Liam Houseman as well. Is Sam Crumpton close enough to retake the lead of the race? We're on lap 16 out of 36. He's certainly got a straight line speed advantage on Vestago at the top of the field, but he's not quite close enough. Heading into Tarzan Bok. Is Carrick any closer to the back of Pistilli? No, Tyler Pistilli soaring down the straights here. And he's really running. His race car is really running well, is Tyler Pistilli's. He's not able to slow down on the straights, as Carrick not able to keep up at the front of the field.
Oh, well, Sam Carrick almost unable to keep his car in a straight line there. It's a bit of an oversteer. Well, Houseman, he didn't really have an opportunity to try and make a pass for himself.
The two race leaders running in unison through this middle sector. Only 2 3/10 separate them, and Gobadi just gets the exit, it seems, out of turn number 10, and that is where he is keeping his advantage. But it's a lot closer going into the main straight now, as that's a yellow flag. Not too sure who it is for. I think it was Scarborough. I think it was Jake Scarborough, actually, who caused the yellow flag in the middle sector. 4/10 of a second separate Sam Crumpton and Gobadi. If there's a chance to go for the race lead for Sam Crumpton, this is it. He's right up and comfortable in the rear wing of Gobadi. Just look how close it is in towards turn number 1. It's not close enough though. Sam Crumpton still has to sit behind. He needs to find a way to get closer to the Ukrainian. He's a lot closer in towards turn number 7 every single lap than he is into turn number 1, but due to the nature of turn number 7, not able to go for a move.
Yeah, it's just, that's the problem with the Netherlands in a way. It does make it difficult for you besides retirement pits, so don't worry about it being safety car.
Now the Scarborough out, unfortunately. One AlphaTauri in second, the other will finish in the garage.
Yep, so contrasting fortunes for the AlphaTauri team there today. You see, it's looking good for one driver, probably not looking so good for the other. As this is almost saying like a scenario to Silverstone, like with Gobadi and Crumpton leading the way, and McWilliam just hanging back.
Oh, that's Houseman. Houseman round. Liam Houseman has taken another spin through turn number 10. And just when things were looking up from, they've come straight back down, and that's unfortunate for Liam Houseman, but at the end of the day, it is his own fault. He's the one who has spun around. Awful for him. Sam Crumpton not close enough into towards turn number 1. Is Carrick close enough on Pistilli? No, these two all still running together. This DRS train, it's all just a bit of a stalemate really, because the only two people pulling away at this point in the Grand Prix, it is Gobadi and Crumpton. Like, even Luke Davies is technically keeping with Lewis McWilliam. He's 1.6 back, but the pace remains the same for the two of them. Sam Davis, even on 18-lap old hard tyres, is just towing along Thomas Main, and Thomas Main is not really able to get close enough. Maybe this lap is a real chance for him, because we do expect Sam Davis into the pits anytime soon. It's about a lap 20 pit window if you do start on the hard compound of tyres.
Mine too, with a safety car, he might extend that slightly.
He might, yeah, definitely will, I'd say. It's Thomas Main just tucking in behind. The gap between our front two is once again 0.4 of a second. Heading through, Ari Lundijk blocked. Sam Crumpton, it just is a stalemate between these two. Gobadi weaving down the straight. Sam is gaining, and this is his closest chance maybe. He's going to try and run a wide line, get a switchback, but no, Gobadi is no spring chicken. He's clever to that one. Thomas Main does get past Sam Davison, and now Mercedes have a 4-5, and that's a yellow flag. That is Liam Houseman once again, who has spun through turn 13 onto the banking, and Liam's day just gets worse.
Yeah, it just seems like once you spin once, it kind of messes with your focus. And as a result, then you're just can't quite get back into that original rhythm you had.
Yeah, I agree. As Bill Nowick saying it's undercut time, so the AlphaTauri team boss fancies his chances here in AlphaTauri. Yeah, he definitely does. In the Netherlands is what I was looking to say. He definitely fancies his chances. Sam Crumpton
around Enzo here, anyways.
As yeah, they are actually. Enzo is almost a lap down now, but yellow flag. It is Houseman again, unfortunately. I think just to spare Liam's dignity, we will stop mentioning when it is Liam who spins, but Sam Crumpton close, but no cigar into turn 1 once again, as there is finally Mr. Sam Davis into the pit lane. It'll be a comfortable medium stint to the end of the Dutch Grand Prix for him, and this is when things get a bit interesting for Sam Davis. So what can he do here at home?
So first things first now is it's going to have to get up to us back at the Aston Martin in 11th. He's got 7 seconds off. Once he gets there, then others start to become more of a possibility. But as a lot of cars he'll have to potentially pass, unless these cars also decide to pit again. In which case, well, then he'll probably shoes on the other foot, really. He'll probably have to try to defend a little, maybe from the likes of Thomas Main and potentially Luke Davies, if he's able to undercut Davies.
Gobadi's starting to stretch his legs here a little bit. The next to Gobadi was much better through the middle and final sector. Then the man in second place, but that DRS will just once again get Sam Crumpton right in the rear view mirrors of Avesta Gobadi. The AlphaTauri. This is his best chance maybe for a race victory. AlphaTauri, a team that was oh so successful in the past in Formula Virtual Racing. Recent history has not been too favourable to the Italian team, but this is Sam Crumpton's chance of getting them over the line. Of course, if I do get the team wins up, we can see.
Boy,
that's actually a crash on the circuit. That's the safety car. That has brought the safety car out. That's Liam Houseman retiring from his home Grand Prix, a race he's almost won before. The safety car has come out once again, and unfortunately for Sam Davis, that's the worst timing ever.
Yeah, I can imagine his cockpit or radio calls to his brother, who may or may not be there, must not be the most pleasant of the competition right now, because, well,
let's just say angry Dutch words is what we might see, as Tyler Davison still making his name present here in Formula Virtual Racing. As you can see, he's now playing his PlayStation. But Gobadi in, Crumpton in, all going to pit for fresh mediums, I imagine. I can't see why anyone would stay out at this point. Mercedes will be double stacking, as what I was going to say is that AlphaTauri, 8 race wins. They have not won since the final race of Season 6, where Jack Redmond took a win in Singapore. Mercedes got a double stack, and Pistilli's actually been held up a little bit here as well, so I don't think Thomas Main will actually lose anything from this. I think that's going to be an okay double stack, and as Bourmune gets out in front, as no, Mercedes is passed, so nothing lost for the double stack. Aaron McFall has stayed out. Yeah, we're getting the Aaron McFall train back, aren't we?
Oh god, Aaron McFall on the podium as Zandvoort. That's a situation for a certain, well...
I'm pretty sure it was a Red Bull behind him as well, actually.
Uh,
Tyler making his name present once again.
No,
you
I'm
can see.
I'm not mistaken. I think the situation was McFall was on the podium, and then there was a battle between the bulwark who would come back from the disconnect.
And Jack Redmond, I think it was.
Yeah.
I definitely remember a Red Bull being somewhere.
I think it was Red Bull winning that race, Sam.
Oh, it was Sam, yeah, it was. You're on the money. But, oh, Aaron was in a Williams that day as well, wasn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Kieran Kevin Williams, team boss, if you are watching, I would get your checkbook ready. There might be some damages. No, but,
I don't even think the car got damaged that much, really. It just crashed and then flipped.
It's still a mystery what actually happened there, because I don't think we actually know what really happened. He just kind of went upside down.
Man, that's what made it so funny, because it's just all of a sudden out of nowhere and just flips his car over podium position.
It is definitely the best Formula Virtual Racing moment we have ever had. If you don't know what we're talking about, if you go onto our YouTube channel, even if you want to do it under the safety car, it's only a 50-second clip. It's one of the videos. It is literally, I think, titled Aaron Goes Upside Down in Zandvoort. It is bloody hilarious if you've not watched it. But nevertheless, Kyle Albert in the chat saying 11-lap sprint should be tasty. It absolutely should be. It should be a very exciting one, as we do still have 14 runners. I can't remember the last time we only had 3 non-finishers. As Enzo King dives into the pits once again. Gobadi versus Crumpton has been fairly timid so far. We might see a different ball game now that there's no DRS.
Yeah, say Crumpton be thinking, I've got a chance here. I need to try basically pounding Gobadi on this restart. And if you can catch him out by going with him, then I'd say well, it very much be likely there will be a car down the inside or outside of somewhere. And whether who comes out in front of that, well, that could be anyone here, realistically.
Yeah, Sam Crumpton has never won a Formula Virtual Race, of course. He's been very successful in our feeder tier, Formula Virtual Racing Academy, but he's never quite managed to do it on the big stage. It's his best chance here this evening. Almost won his own Grand Prix. He was a good few seconds off of Escobadi in the end, but he was in the fight front, and that's what really matters. Will we go green this lap? No, we are still waiting on Enzo King, by the looks of things. Enzo is still on the lead lap. The only one not on the lead lap is Adrian Teiche. And unfortunately, I don't think he's going to get to lap himself. So it'll be lap 25. We will get restarted on as the Mercedes-AMG Petronas safety car does... Oh, Adrian Teiche almost managed to bin it on the main straight, as he does let Enzo King through, I have to say. Sportsmanship is the name. Adrian Teiche is the simile. That's the worst quote.
Or the game.
Yeah, no, that's the worst quote I've ever said. Adrian's he's a very good sportsman. Adrian, very good sportsman, does let Enzo King through. Let's pretend that little moment never happened, and Mr. Gobadi, we cut to still leading this race. These mediums will comfortably go to the end. Sam Davison is in 9th, for those who are interested. Not quite the 5th position he was in.
Yeah, 9th. I think he's going to be very angry, because, well, had he stayed out, that situation would look a lot better, because not only would the tyre situation have worked out in his favour, he would also have kept his position. Whereas now, it's a case where the tyre situation has to really well. Well, the tire situation is equal now. However, his position is it's not quite what he would have been hoping for.
Safety car is in this lap, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to get going racing very shortly. It'll be Vestigo Bali who will complete the restart once again. That'll be Sam Crumpton, the man chasing. It was Sam Davis who actually restarted the last restart in second, but Sam got past fairly quickly, as did Lewis McWilliam. Vesta's just going to hold it, and I imagine he'll wait till he exits Ari Lundijk boxed to try and start this race back once again. If you're just joining us, you have joined at the correct time here in Formula Virtual Racing as we go racing once again in Zandvoort. Sam Davis has gone round before the restart, or he's made a mistake of some sort, and Vestigo Bardi weave all the way down the straight as Alan McFall is looking to attack Sam Crumpton in towards turn number 1. Huge send from McFall, not quite successful. Pistilli looking to try and get past Thomas Main. He's got a much better exit than the Belgian. Tyler Pistilli up alongside the Mercedes, side by side heading through here. Oh, so lucky not to spin. Borbune dives it up the inside of Pistilli. Borbune going to try get the exit on Tyler Pistilli, but it's not quite successful. Tyler very, very good on the traction, heading through turn number 3 and 4. Not close enough for a dive in towards turn number 7, however. Luke Davies all over the back of Aaron McFall and the all-hard tyres. Luke, unfortunately, first-hand knows the consequences of being stuck behind Aaron McFall. It is a very long and painful few laps. He wants to try and get past the Briton here as McWilliam, bit wobbly, heading through that corner. You can see in front of Red Bull, the gap up the front is 7/10 of a second between Vestigo Bardi and Sam Crumpton. Here's Davies to the outside on Aaron McFall. He's got to try the long way around the outside, heading through. Hans Ernst boxed. It's not quite close enough for Davies, but it was a very, very good send from him. Very clean between these two. Aaron McFall will stay in front for the time being. Davies just sits behind, heading through. Ari Lundijk boxed now. The banked corner here in Zandvoort tucks into the slipstream. All the suction from the back of the Williams racing car is put into straight line speed for Luke Davies, heading through turn number 1. It's Argy Bargy from the 2. Davies brilliantly hangs around the outside, and Luke Davies brilliantly might just take 4th place in this race. McFall still keeps the car in. Luke Davies is the inside line, heading in towards turn number 3. Who gets the better traction? Surely it's the man on the mediums. It's actually Aaron McFall who gets the better traction. Still side by side for the remainder of sector number 1. Luke Davies hangs it round the outside through turn number 7. This is great racing, and McFall comes out on top. Beautiful defending once again from Aaron. Luke gonna dive it up the inside through here as Aaron did have a wobble, lucky not to spin round. He's gonna lose time here as Luke Davies. He has his teammate on his inside now, and his teammate and Pistilli are side by side. They're all backing up. Pistilli gets the launch in the Mercedes sandwich, and the Red Bull is gonna try and look up the inside of Luke Davies. He's got up the inside of Thomas Main, but Thomas Main will hang it. And no contact between the two. Very odd contact between the two. Pistilli's fallen behind Carrick now. Thomas Main has to defend from Borbune. Borbune and Liam Carrick tripping over each other. What an unbelievable battle this is. Luke Davies is going to have another go on Aaron McFall. Very quick laps here in Zandvoort. Davies really needs the inside line into turn number 1. He's not going to get it from Aaron McFall. Tries a little Mansell-esque dummy on the inside. It's not going to work for the young Briton here, and he's going to have to sit behind. It's not as dramatic as the last lap was. Liam Carrick still looking to try and get past Thomas Main. He's going to try run around the high side of the banking. He is going to try run around the high side of the banking, but it's not going to work out for the Alfa Romeo Sauber. Back up to our battle for 4th. McFall just defending from Davies. Davies needs to try something on the audacious side. You have to fight fire with fire sometimes, and that's what Luke Davies necessarily needs to do. Yellow flag. That is Sam Davis. Apologies. Thomas Mealy who's gone round, and the safety car's come out. Safety car back out again. I was quite enjoying that action. That's a bit disappointing.
Well, that now leaves McFall in a bit of a peculiar place, because, well, do you try do what you've been doing for the last few laps, and that's just defend with all that you have, and basically wear down Luke Davies until he doesn't have the tyres to fight you? Or do you take the plunge now for the pits and try and reverse it on everyone, try go for the overtaking masterclass rather than the defensive one?
Yeah, we might see something for softs as Crumpton dummies McWilliam. McWilliam doesn't fall for it. Aaron stays out.
Carrick tries to dummy. Enzo
and Andrew Davis.
Yeah.
Okay, that's understandable. They're at the back. There's not much to lose. Sam Davis in as well. And Adrian Tice is going to carry on. Adrian, I think, is just going to try and get a few more, have another attempt at unlapping himself. But what a brilliant battle that was between Aaron and Luke. The utmost respect for the two of them, because that was a cracking piece of racing.
Yeah, I have to say, Davies had his ERS worn down, so that is probably... I would say he wouldn't have got past there at that point, because, well, his own tyres would have been starting to wear down. However, now with the ERS coming back into play here, he may get another good, proper shot at it.
I think Luke's best chance of getting past that time was when they were side by side in the turn 7. Whoever backed out was not going to get past, and there's no chance Aaron McFall backs out from a battle like that, because Aaron is arguably a lot more braver wheel to wheel than most, and Aaron would have never backed out from that situation. And I have to say, he put up a good defensive showing there. Might be a little bit more under pressure now that the tyres are a bit more worn for him. We saw those hard tyres drop off towards lap number 18 with Sam Davison, when Sam Davison was sporting them, so we may see Aaron start to struggle a little bit, and he almost got on the curb there. But one more lap of safety car, I imagine, and then we will go racing once again. King, Davis and Davison have all gone for the softs, and one thing I've noticed, Brendan, is a lot of people...
Oh, wait, there's someone into the pits now.
Thomas Main.
That's
That's an odd gamble from Thomas Main. That's a very odd gamble.
Well, I suppose a gamble's a gamble. I think he's just hoping that maybe he's not sucked into chaos, which is something that's happened. It feels like it has happened to him a lot this season, really. Where he's just being caught in a bit of a crossfire. Or maybe this time he might be just trying to make the moves and then avoid that crossfire.
Kyle Albert said in the comments that it was a cracking battle between two top drivers. However, he's retracted the comment, so Kyle didn't feel like complimenting anyone today. Fair enough, Kyle. But Adrian still not managing to cut through the field. I don't think the drivers aware. The drivers ahead are aware of the lapping rule.
I think it's Tanner Bastini who he needs to pass here. However, Bastini might not be aware of this.
It's a fellow Canadian. So usually the Canadian hospitality is fairly up to scratch, and especially to one of their own. You think he'd get the overtake done, eh? But no, he's unfortunately going to have to stay a lap behind, as the safety car will be in this lap. I think we will be green flagged to the end of this one. Hopefully we're green flagged to the end of this one. These laps will tick down very quickly. It's about a 1:12 at this stage in the race. Maybe 1:13 if we get a bit of battling. But it is still a very quick lap. A very, very quick lap here in Zandvoort. Gobardi backs the field up for the third time today. Gobardi needs to get a great launch for the third time today. His other two have been nothing short of perfect. The safety car is now into Zandvoort's pit lane. Gobardi can go from any time now. Just weaving, getting temperature. And we go racing here in Zandvoort. Really good restart from McWilliam, I have to say, in third position. He could attack Sam Crumpton into turn number 1. Sam Crumpton just has to weave out of the way. He's not close enough to attack Gobardi. McWilliam up the inside. There's a bit of contact, actually, between Aaron McFall and Lewis McWilliam. And more contact. Davies off the circuit. McFall in the wall at his infamous part of the circuit once again. Davies has unfortunately been caught in a late collision once again in Formula Virtual Racing. And that promotes Borbune up to 4th position. Liam Carrick right on the tail of the Dutchman. Borbune, the lead Dutchman here in Zandvoort. He could maybe look for a podium. Crumpton still right on the back of Gobardi. The pace Gobardi and Crumpton have produced today is in a different stratosphere to the rest of the field. McWilliam's not been able to keep with them for the most part of this Grand Prix. Borbune almost already falling out of a second of the Scotsman in front. Big dive from Pistilli. Big dive from Pistilli on Carrick. Carrick goes off the circuit. Pistilli through. Enzo King at the soft compound tyres is really looking racy all of a sudden here on the back of the Alfa Romeo Sauber. Carrick dives in towards the tight chicane. It was not successful for the Alfa Romeo, and Enzo King is right on the back of Liam Angelo Carrick. Now Bastilli, bit wobbly. Sam Crumpton, this is his best chance. This is the Britain's best chance. All day he's seen the Alpine word in his eyesight. Maybe it's a chance to get AlphaTauri on top. He's broke way too late. And Crumpton goes off the circuit. Sam Crumpton, that might just be his race win chances completely spoiled here. He broke way too late into turn 1. Gobadi keeps the lead.
Yeah, all good for Gobadi there. As McFall retires into pits. A shame, because he had a very good race up until that point. Sam Davidson also into the pit lane. Whether he'll retire as well is one different story, but he might just go for a faster lap at this point.
Yeah, it's unlucky for Sam Davidson. It is very lucky because his pace has been a lot better than it has been in previous seasons even. It's certainly been one of the more impressive performances for Sam Davidson, but you have to feel this is a Gobadi win all wrapped up unless Lewis, the world champion, the double world champion, can throw a spanner at it. Carrick and King have made contact and they've both gone spinning. That promotes Pastilli, Davies, not Davison, Tyler's not here. Pastilli, Main, Davis all up. Another position. Oh, Davis actually in the wall. Ferrari's actually clattered the wall. Sam Crumpton still could win this one. Still has a chance at it. He's in the back. He's on the back of McWilliam. But he spoiled his one real chance of taking this race win on Avesta Gobadi. Overtaking opportunities on the race leader have been very, very, very minimal here today.
Yeah, that is the thing in the Netherlands. You've got to make the opportunity you have count, and Crumpton will know that very much now because, well, he could have had the lead, but he had broke himself, and now he's down to third, and he's going to have to try fight McWilliam. McWilliam doesn't have a championship to be thinking about, so he might be a little more free to defend.
Oh, King gone round again.
Oh.
Unfortunate for Enzo, he's gone round again. Enzo was very quick on those softs. Thomas Main's back to where he was, really. So Thomas is in a good position on those fresher softs. Sam Crumpton, if he wants to win this race, needs to get past Lewis McWilliam on this lap, you feel. He needs to have a go into turn number 1. But what is not to Sam Crumpton's assistance is that DRS on the back of the Red Bull. Because Lewis is within a second of Avesta Gobadi, he does have the drag reduction system. Look how later Sam Crumpton brakes. He is all over the back of this Red Bull. Sam Davison has caused the yellow flag. I feel he'll just be saving his ERS to go for a fastest lap attempt. He'd love to take a point here in Zandvoort, if anything. He would have loved a podium, but a point will be maybe it'll be a small apology from what is a very unforgiving circuit, as we've said before. Look at Sam Crumpton right on the tail of Lewis McWilliam. Sam just looks that much more comfortable in through the corners. He can brake later than the Scotsman, and he just looks like he's having a much better time here in Zandvoort. The two Red Bull power-trained cars are probably going to go scrapping at it sooner rather than later. Sam needs Lewis to not make this too difficult, but Lewis is, because not for Lewis's sake, he's good friends with Avesta Gobadi as well. He'll be thinking of that as well. If he doesn't have the pace to win, he'd rather one of his own wins, that sort of thing. Yellow flag, that is for Sam Davison. The fastest lap attempt has not been too successful. Here comes Sam Crumpton. Crucial moment in the Dutch Grand Prix as we head on to the penultimate lap of the race. McWilliam defends the inside. Crumpton going to push for the outside here in towards turn number 1 through Tarzan box. It's not going to be successful. That is great defending from Lewis McWilliam. He's got a little bit of a switchback heading in towards turn number 2. He's up alongside and round goes Sam Crumpton. He promotes Borbune onto the podium in his home circuit. No, Pastilli's through. Pastilli's taken it on Borbune. Sam's been disqualified from the Grand Prix. Tyler Pastilli is through for what would be another brilliant result from Red Bull. Red Bull seem to pick up the scraps every single week.
That is what Red Bull have been able to do. I believe they'd be on 33 points today. That'd be a decent haul. I think Mercedes, though, they've probably done enough here to keep it going. Although, well, 5th and 6th, that would be 10 and 8, that'd be 18. Sorry, it's 18, 15. I suppose if McWilliam was to win this race, it could mean that championship does get sealed.
It could be, but McWilliam has a lot of work to do. However, last lap drama has been in the Scotsman's favour. I think Avesta Gobadi is a little bit too quick on this occasion. Avesta has been ferociously quick around this Dutch Grand Prix circuit. The Mercedes are going to swap though. They're actually battling here. I suppose there's not much to lose for Luke Davies and Thomas Main, and Thomas breaks later in the two. There's no team orders here at Mercedes. It's Davies versus Main for the first time really ever here in Formula Virtual Racing. Thomas Main on the better tyres keeps it around the outside of Luke Davies, and you'd have to feel the Belgian just had a little bit of a tyre advantage there, and he has gone through on the young Briton. That was a nice little battle there. McWilliam has completely dropped out of DRS of Avesta Gobadi. Avesta is not letting off here. Borbune, unfortunately, will just come shy of a podium in the Netherlands. But still a great result for Borbune, fourth. He's really picking up good results throughout the course of this season. Heading in towards the final sector, they'll go bad. He's just gone purple in the middle sector. He's going for the fastest lap, isn't he? Avesta wobbles right on the exit of turn number 12, in towards turn number 13, and heading on to Ari Lundijk Bocht, the famous banking here in Zandvoort. Gobadi has not let up despite losing the championship, and Avesta Gobadi wins the Dutch Grand Prix and takes the fastest lap with it on lap 36. What a beautiful effort that was from the Ukrainian. It's a double podium for Red Bull once again. Borbune will come home fourth, Thomas Main fifth, Davies sixth. Andrew Davis has taken seventh off Crumpton on the last lap. Crumpton has taken eighth, Liam Carrick ninth, Enzo King reversing across the line in 10th, and Adrian Taisha will come home to finish in 11th position. That was a very exciting Grand Prix from start to finish.
Yeah, we got Zandvoort does deliver an FVR, even if in real life it mightn't be quite have that quite the excitement you'd hope it would. Over here, yep, another very good race in the Avesta Gobadi. I believe that's a Grand Chelem. I think he did lead every single lap.
Yeah.
It is.
I think he did. Yes, he did actually, Brendan, because he came out of the pits in front of Sam Davis, didn't he?
Yep, that is a Grand Chelem for Avesta Gobadi. Pole, fastest lap, race win, and led every single lap of the race.
He even led every single lap in our little restart as well. So Avesta, well and truly the dominant force here in the Netherlands. The Alpine team delighted with that one. They may not have a Drivers' Championship in their pocket, but they certainly had some very good performances. As Andrew Davis happy with 7th on debut. Tyler Pistilli not happy with the standards, and yeah, it's unfortunate. We're going to try and get the top 3 in our post-race interview, but nevertheless, your race winner here in the Netherlands with a race time of 50 minutes and 28 seconds, Avesta Gobadi takes his Grand Chelem. Lewis McWilliam in 2nd, followed by Tyler Pistilli in 3rd, Borbune in 4th, Thomas Main in 5th, Luke Davies in 6th, Andrew Davis in 7th, Sam Crumpton in 8th, Liam Carrick in 9th, Enzo King in 10th, followed by Adrian Taisha in 11th, and your non-finishers were Aaron McFall, Thomas Miele, Liam Houseman, Jake Scarborough, Sam Davis, and Juan Hernandez. Brendan, who wins the Mima 1 Safety Award?
Well, I suppose if we're awarding Avesta everything else today, I suppose to complete the set, give it to him. Yeah, managed the race well, and when Crumpton did come to try and take position, he played it very smartly. Just took the inside line, and just let Crumpton just outbrake himself. So, well, I have to give it to him. Although I would commend Mercedes drivers of Thomas and Luke, well, Aaron, Luke, and Thomas there for some brilliant battling.
Yeah, there was some excellent battling today. It was very, very clean for the most part. It was certainly an excellent race. We are still trying to see, can we get Avesta in? Avesta's just asked if there's interviews. Hopefully we can get him in. As I believe we will. He's just asked, is there interviews? So hopefully we can get him in. But thank you very much for sticking with us, folks, even during the restart. We are going to have a little bit of a chat, I think, with our Grand Prix winner, Avesta Gobadi. Whether we can get anyone else in, we will have to wait and see. We're going to get Lewis in as well. Actually, Lewis has joined the interview waiting room under his own accord. So we will hopefully get Avesta in as well. We'll bring Lewis in first, actually, as we haven't had interviews for a couple weeks. We'll bring Lewis in. We'll bring them in together. Hello, Vesta and Lewis, can you hear us? You are both on mute, by the way.
Yeah, you two are on mute, I
Hello,
believe.
can you hear us?
Yeah.
Oh, hello, Lewis. We can hear you now, Lewis. We'll start with you. It was second place today. The pace it wasn't your usual standard necessarily. We know you're having some pedal issues at the start, but how did you feel that race went?
Fantastic, really. I mean, I didn't actually do any Zandvoort until about an hour before because I thought it would be quite strong for me. Turns out it wasn't. First few laps, I was all over the place. So, yeah, I don't know if my throttle issues were in qualifying as well because that was a bit off as well. But
Yeah,
I was, I wasn't surprised that I was off the pace at the start, but I did think it was a bit odd that Luke Davies was like a second a lap faster than me.
No shade
But
thrown.
yeah, well, I mean, but then yeah, I got that fixed. It was actually really weird because I was driving the whole first half of the race with normal, like with no, like a bit off my throttle. So I was getting used to the amount of throttle I was putting on at every corner. So as soon as we got restarted after I fixed my throttle, I was like oversteering all over the place because I wasn't used to having all the throttle. It was weird.
Well, today's result means provisionally you don't wrap up the Constructors World Championship. Is that something you're going to work towards next week? And do you want it completely wrapped up this time next week?
I haven't seen the gaps mathematically or what we need to do to achieve that next race. But it's always good to know. It's always good to know you've done it, and you can just have a race where nothing really matters. Obviously, you want to get the best result possible, but that you don't feel pressured to get a certain result.
You did have a bit of a battle with Sam Crumpton right at the end of the race. What's that like from your perspective? We saw you went round, but do you feel that there's no fault of your own, or what's the story there?
I mean, I was heading to turn one. I exited the corner. I didn't expect him to be there, if I'm honest. I didn't think that was conventional, to say the least. But obviously, to get past him's on, but you've got to try different things and use different lines. I think I left him enough room. I'll have to look back on it. It certainly felt like there was enough there to get two cars through at the time. Not sure how he feels about it. Have to see. I'll have to look back at it myself, obviously. But if I'm at fault, I'm at fault, I guess. If I'm not, then I'm not. Can't go back and change what's already happened.
Well, Brent, any questions for Lewis?
yeah. Also, just say your throttle issues. Obviously, you had to kind of just adapt a bit, but did you feel like then there was your pace then just became a little bit more normal and you were to stick with the likes of Weston Crumpton a bit more then once you got used to it again?
Yeah, definitely. Everything became a bit more normal because I was thinking in my head, Luke was right behind me. Avesta and Crumpton were gaining about, I don't know, a second a lap, 1.5 seconds. And I was just sitting there like, surely I'm not this bad at Zandvoort, but no. Thankfully, I saw your message because I don't normally check my phone during safety cars. But I just looked at my phone. It was you saying check my throttle, so thank you for that at least because that saved my race definitely because I would not be P2 if I still had those problems.
Well, Lewis, thank you very much for joining us. We will now head to our race winner, Avesta. That's your first Formula Virtual Racing Grand Slam. You led every lap, topped qualifying, and took the fastest lap on the last lap. How does that race feel from your perspective?
Very satisfying to be honest. I had like some setup changes in the last second before I joined the lobby, and it felt very good from the first lap of qualifying. I did a point 0.5 I think on the banker, so I knew I could push a lot, and I had some mistakes in qualifying, but 2 laps was enough for pole, luckily. And yeah, in the race, it just felt very, very stable. The car felt very good. I felt very confident, unlike yesterday in FVRA, but yeah, it was a good practice, I can say. And learning from the setup usually helps a lot. And it was quite a good race. I felt very, very comfortable. But I think looking back, like there was one incident between me and Crompton, but I think he overshoot turn one. I don't think I hit him. But right now he told me that we made some contact, but I don't believe that. I definitely didn't feel anything, and I didn't even turn into him. But yeah, it's a good race at least. P1, another P1. Unlucky for me that the championship is over, but at least I can have fun right now.
Well, from our perspective, it certainly didn't look like you and Sam made contact into turn number one, but of course the stewards will all decide that. You and Luke are locked into a bit of a battle for second in the championship. Are you trying to secure second place, or are you really just trying to have a bit of fun?
To be honest, I don't care like if I'm second or third, but like my main goal was first, so that's over. So right now I'm honestly just trying to have fun. And I don't know what the next races are, but hopefully they're better than Zandvoort, because Zandvoort isn't a very good track of mine.
Well, you say that, Ben, and you leaps and bounds ahead of the rest. Brendan, I'll hand it over to you.
Yeah. Well, so just to pick up on your last point there, you said Zandvoort is one of your better tracks. So, what would that mean now for, let's say like Portugal and Brazil? Would they be better tracks for you in comparison to Zandvoort, or would it be like other tracks that you don't expect that much?
I completely forgot about Portugal. I think that's definitely in the top two worst tracks of mine. I'm definitely not looking forward to that. But Brazil, yeah, Brazil is a very good track of mine. But Zandvoort, I felt confident because of the setup changes. If I didn't make the setup change right now, I think the result would be similar to FVRA. So I'm very lucky that I chose the correct wings and the correct suspension geometry.
Well, lads, thank you very, very much for joining us. We do appreciate you giving us your time. That was, of course, your first and second place finishers of Esteban Bardi and Lewis McWilliam, ladies and gentlemen. As Brendan and Avesta did mention in the post-race interviews, we head to the Algarve International Circuit next week for the Portuguese Grand Prix. It is a happy return to there for Formula Virtual Racing, we do hope. It's an absolute corker, but thank you very much for joining us here this evening from the Circuit Zandvoort in the Netherlands. My name's been Evan Dalton. I've been joined by Brendan. Stay safe, stay well, and we shall see you next time.